5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. We're here with my guest, Danny Ambroze, avid Twitch streamer, techie, revolutionary, and guest producing today is my good friend Steve White. He's off camera because he's one with the shadows. But Danny Ambroze, the one in the light, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing really good, man. I gotta pay compliments to your sweatshirt.
Thank you.
It's absolutely brilliant.
I got it the other day. It's Gears of War.
It's very fitting because when I first met you, Gears was all the rage.
It was.
That was your favorite game at the time? Is that...
Absolutely.
Do you think... Was that a game that pushed you further into gaming, or were you already in deep by that point?
I think I was probably already in deep when I was like 5 years old.
Fair enough. Well, all right, what got you? What pulled you in at 5 years old?
The furthest back thing I can remember is probably Mario 64.
Mario 64. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Were you able to beat it back then, or were you kind of just like in like...
Not on my own.
Yeah?
I definitely
But you had older brothers.
Yeah, so I played with like John and James and stuff, so it was a team effort as far as I can remember.
That's pretty fun. From your childhood, what's your favorite game? And why?
That's a tough call. You know what? I can't really think. There's so many different
one
ones.
Of your favorites then?
Well, aside from like if it had to go way back, it would have to probably be like like Mario Party and Mario 64. This is like a lot of good times with my cousins and friends.
So kind of like the communal.
Yeah.
Feeling of
that's eventually how it evolved into like online play, like playing with others, and then like I think the first online game I ever played was SOCOM on the PlayStation Portable.
So are you primarily like a cooperative gamer? Like the games you play have some kind of team aspect to them? Like are you into solo adventure games or solo JRPGs at all, or is it just primarily anything that involves teamwork?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
but mostly it's multiplayer.
What's the game that pulled you into that?
SOCOM.
Yeah.
That was the first... like first competitive game, SOCOM.
Very sweet. What are you playing these days?
Rainbow Six, a lot of the time. Rainbow Six Siege.
Now, is that the game you stream the most, or is that the game you play the most?
I've streamed it a little bit for the most... not as much as Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown is definitely... It's gotten up there as one of my most favorite games right now.
Now, let me ask you. Do you stream every time you play video games, or is it like a half and half kind of relationship?
I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. Right now, I've been doing it almost every day to kind of like figure out what, give the boost and figure out what days and what times work best.
Well, you're pretty close to becoming an affiliate, and I just want to point that out. Anybody who's listening or watching, follow Danny Ambroze on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Danny Ambroze. Let's get this guy up to be an affiliate on Twitch.
I hope so.
You're pretty sweet, man. You're very close. It's only a matter of time before you do it.
Just got to keep on putting effort into it, and it'll eventually come.
Isn't that just the name of the game? You guys got to keep plugging at it until you hit the right notes. So let's talk about Gears, because for me, I was never the biggest like first-person shooter person. Like I never really got that into Call of Duty. I enjoyed Halo, but never really dove deep.
Right.
But would you agree that there was something different about Gears that I guess would you say increased the depth that the first-person shooter genre could strive towards?
Well, the thing with Gears, though, is it's a third-person shooter. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But in any case, though, something about that game...
But the shooter genre, I guess,
something
rather
about that
than
game
first-person
is
shooter
definitely
genre.
unique from anything that had been out recently, mainly because there wasn't that many third-person shooters out.
Well, what was it? Because I know, was it the cover system? Like, what made that game stand out above the others? Why was it able to cut through and compete with things like Call of Duty and Halo?
The cover system is definitely a big part of it, but then also because something about the main gun in that game is basically the Nash or the shotgun, and it just it's like one of the very few games out there where you're just having these up close, gory shotgun battles. It kind of created something new for like the gaming genre, I guess.
Now, let me ask you, what do you think in the Gears community led to people flipping the fuck out anytime they got chainsawed? You couldn't chainsaw somebody without them screaming noob at you. Where do you think that saltiness came from?
Probably because, even though it's really cool when you do that in the game, because people would just hide behind the wall.
Well,
wait for you to walk by.
It's your own fault if you're falling for such a silly trick.
It's true.
See, what I used to love doing, and I bet you somebody like you would hate me,
is I would post up in the rooms and I would tag the rooms with smoke grenades. So you'd
So
walk
then-
in, there'd be nothing but smoke, and I just chainsaw you in the smoke.
And early on in the game, smoke grenades would send you flying like a rag doll, so you couldn't do
I
anything
do
for like 5
remember
seconds.
that.
It'd knock you flat on your ass.
Would you agree that the first trilogy, Gears 1, 2, and 3, are the best in the series?
Story-wise, yeah.
What about
But
gameplay-wise?
Gameplay-wise, right now, the most recent one, 4, while it still has some of its glitches and stuff like that, but it's very fast-paced and it's very clean. Like it's just the way the pace is, it's very comfortable. But the story was
was
like,
meh.
like because they brought the whole new ensemble in, like Marcus's son and like his new friends he made, I guess, while he was growing up, and they kind of had like a very bland story.
What are the scenes that stuck with you the most in the original trilogy from the story? Because I agree with you. I loved the story. I can't speak for Gears 4. I haven't played it. But I do love the story in the originals.
Well, if I would have to say the 2 scenes that definitely stick out most, as we were discussing earlier, when Dom dies.
Yeah, Dom's
fiery
death. Yo, but it
crash.
was epic, though.
Yeah.
He did it for the squad.
I think that's the saddest you ever see Marcus get in that game when he's usually such a hard ass.
Okay, that's his homie.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. The part that gets me is obviously when he finally finds Maria,
Oh, yeah, nah, that's pretty tough.
and she's basically destroyed. And the way Marcus kind of puts his hand on his shoulder, he's like, Dom, it's okay.
Dom.
It's okay.
But and then the other one would have to be, because you know how every Carmine up until that point dies a painful death, and then they
Yeah,
have
he's like the Cartman of the series.
and then they have the third one survive the helicopter
Not the
crash.
Cartman, the Kenny, excuse me. Sorry.
Pretty much. But yeah, there's also seeing him survive the helicopter crash, and like he's helping up the other people that were in the crash and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Everyone's like, he survived.
So is Rainbow Six how you get your shooter fix these days? Primarily?
Yeah, primarily. It's just at first it had a shaky start because there was just like a lot of glitches, a lot of hacking and stuff like that. And there's still a lot of hack. Well, actually not as much. There was still a lot of hacking up until recently. Which a lot of games need to do this more. They put in what was 2-factor authentication, where you have to link your cell phone with Google Authenticator, and when you go to log into your Ubisoft account, you have to put in that authenticator to sign in. And if you want to play like rated matches, you have to have the authenticator enabled, otherwise you can't play.
Oh.
So if someone's getting banned, they're basically their account, like if they ever want to play again, they're gonna have to get a new cell phone or a new device and sync it up with Google Authenticator to play again.
Jeez,
So
God
hopefully-
forbid you lose your fucking phone. That's a
Yeah.
headache and a half.
Well, no, that's actually easy.
Is it really not that bad?
Yeah, I
like
got
recalibrating it.
I got a new phone recently because I switched from the S6 to the S9, and I just contacted the Ubisoft support agent online, and he just changed it in like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it was surprisingly quick and easy.
No, Ubisoft knows what they're doing. I mean, at least from a production level, because they pump out tons of games every year.
Yeah,
I mean, a new Assassin's Creed every single year. I don't
they're
know if you've kept up
they're
with
taking
that
a break
series.
for like 3 years. I heard
From
or
Assassin's
something
Creed?
Like that. Yeah,
I mean, it's about time.
'Cause
I
I
mean,
think
like I said, they've been pumping the same thing out year after year.
yeah, it kind of gets kind of like Call of Duty. They need to stop with the installments every year.
Well, yeah, because it keeps the series from staying fresh.
I mean, people still buy it, so obviously they're not going to do that.
And that's exactly why they're
Yeah.
going to keep pumping them,
'Cause
because the games are going to sell no matter what.
So they're outselling Red Dead right now, and Red Dead was a great game.
Is it really?
Or is a great game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get your hands on Red Dead, or did you play it like second-handedly?
No, I've just kind of seen gameplay from other streamers.
Sweet. Any streamer in particular that you would watch play Red Dead?
Diction sometimes plays it.
Diction?
He's a funny guy.
Nice shout out to Diction. There you go.
But yeah, other than that, I haven't really seen too much of it. But I never played the first one, so it kind of would feel weird to jump into the second one without knowing anything about, even though it is a prequel. But
Eh.
I don't know.
Well, we just spent a couple nights here playing some Smash. How do you think the new Smash holds up to previous installments, in your opinion?
It's definitely. Well, I never really played the Wii U one that much, so I can't really make a judgment on that. But it's definitely like it feels pretty fresh. But obviously, there's some characters that are a little bit too powerful, like King K. Rool and I think Roy and Diddy Kong and
Roy's pretty wild. I
Young
don't
Link
know.
is pretty ridiculous too. Just the
Yeah.
the fact that his
Fire
fire arrows can
Yeah.
launch you
I know
pretty
those have
far.
been pissing you off.
Yeah, you
all day.
just have someone sit in the corner and they can just keep on firing those and basically can't get to them.
I don't know, Dan. All you need is something that can reflect a projectile, and you can survive. Everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses.
That's true.
I don't know. Were you? What was your favorite before this one, though? Were you more on the Brawl end of things, or did you like Melee better?
Even though Brawl, like people don't consider Brawl that competitive, I thought Brawl was fun.
I thought Brawl was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked all the new characters that it brought in and everything. And Luigi was not just basically a Mario clone anymore.
Exactly.
So.
And I thought Subspace Missionary was awesome.
Oh yeah,
The story
I forgot
mode?
about that mode.
The story
yeah.
mode was awesome.
I forgot what happened in that story. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Dude, the Wii U one pretty much had no story mode. It was lame.
Yeah, it didn't have a story.
Absolutely
I don't
lame.
remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Brawl had a pretty sweet story mode. Obviously, I think Melee was better than Brawl, but me personally, I just loved playing Brawl because it was a game we all played when we met and shit. So it was cool.
Where Joe would have us screaming because of his Yoshi plays.
Oh my fucking god! You notice his Yoshi strategy hasn't changed at all.
He still does the same thing. He sits on the edge of the map,
And
tries
just
to
fucking rolls
spin
his
you
egg
off of
around
it.
like some kind of asshole. But it's your own fault if you lose to that asshole.
It's true.
But nah, he's gotten better. He knows how to use the A button now. You know, get some smash
It's true.
attacks.
Yeah, he's learning. He's growing.
Who would you say your main is in Smash right now?
Right now it's tough. I'd say right now my bet because they have like all that ranked stuff online. My best character right now is Snake.
Best character, Snake.
But I love playing Wario actually and Ryu or Ryu.
I think it's Ryu technically. But
Yeah. I always grew up knowing him as Ryu.
I love the fact that Ryu's in that game because, you know, obviously he's from Street Fighter, so the whole fighting game genre was pretty not necessarily born with him, but he was there during the beginning of its inception.
Yeah.
The fact that characters like him have made their way into Smash really...
It's crazy. I really wonder how much like Nintendo had to pay to get licensing from.
But you got to think about it, though.
These
It's a
different
free
companies.
advertisement for all those people's games.
That's true.
Not all those
Yeah.
people's, all those companies' games. It's like they just announced that the Joker from Persona 5 is going to be in the game. And Charlotte's been streaming her second playthrough of Persona 5.
Yeah.
But since they've announced that the Joker is going to be the first DLC character, her numbers have been way up.
Wait, isn't Piranha Plant, or they mean like
Piranha
after
Plant's
Plant?
one of them, and
Yeah.
the Joker is the next one. But they're both coming in the first, I think, in the first
okay.
patch.
Yeah,
the
okay.
first character patch.
I got you.
I think so. We'll see if we're right or wrong. But yeah, ever since he was announced as a Smash character, more people have been watching Persona streams, and I'm sure some people have just gone out and bought in Persona 5. So it's like it's kind of like
I heard it's a really good game.
it's amazing. I've played it. It was 120 hours.
It's a JRPG, right?
JRPG, but it's like Inception meets Pokemon. To sum it up as quickly as I can, Persona 5 is essentially Inception meets Pokemon. You know, I think Video Game Donkey put it that way. Just want to cite my thoughts there. But it's definitely worth the play. But yeah, I mean, both parties win when you're in the Smash game. It works for Nintendo and it works for whoever's in there.
Right.
You know, maybe some kids discovered Street Fighter through Ryu and Ken being on this roster.
One thing I'm kind of confused. They did it with Simon and Richter too. Like
Richter?
couldn't they have made like either the moveset's a little different, or they could have put someone else besides Ken in the game, like maybe Zangief
Like Chun-Li or
Chun-Li. Yeah, because they both have the same exact moveset,
know what?
like Simon and Richter.
But you know what? It's so easy, I guess, after you build someone like Ryu. It's like to throw in Ken is probably such a little amount of work.
Yeah.
Not that it's no work, but compared to building out a new moveset for Chun-Li or for Zangief.
Yeah, I mean, there is over like 70 fighters, so I guess I can't blame them.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, I suppose. I know Daisy and Peach are a little bit different, but there's not enough of a difference between them
Yeah,
to consider them
they
completely
used
different.
to just have it where Peach had like the Daisy skin swap.
Well, what I love about this one is now Ganondorf is no longer a Captain Falcon clone.
Yeah, he's got some different moves.
Well, yeah, he's got his sword now, and I love the fact that when he's doing basically his version of the Falcon Punch, that if you hit him, he's not going to budge.
Yeah, he doesn't budge.
He's going to hold his ground.
That's fucking crazy. I guess it's also like it's a lot slower too than Captain Falcon.
Definitely a lot slower.
Yeah.
Falcon Punch is definitely faster than Ganon's attack.
So
But yeah, dude. So what are your personal goals with your Twitch account? Because I know that you initially had started it, but you'd only recently decided to revive your account and start streaming again. What kind of led you down that road? What was the catalyst to you coming back?
I used to do it like here and there back in the day, but just when I wanted to test things out, just because I don't know, I kind of like being able to interact with other people, obviously because of the online play and stuff. But I also think it's cool to be able to kind of like watch over what you were playing and kind of like if you captured some cool moments, be able to watch it and make some cool clips out of it and stuff like that.
So essentially, you initially started doing it just so you could kind of watch yourself back.
Yeah, just to kind of like just see just out of curiosity, and it's kind of fun after a while because when you do get people that do happen to stop by and interact, like when I did try it out a couple of years ago, I was playing Splinter Cell Blacklist, and just decided out of the blue to stream it one day, and I was doing it on the hardest difficulty, and I wanted to see how far I could get in just one playthrough, and I had 19 people watching me, and I'm just some nobody, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like and they're all like saying, "Oh, try this." Like if I was having trouble with some part, or they'd be like, "Oh, try going over there, see if you might complete the mission faster or something." I don't know, like things like that. Just people interacting, and it's like they never heard of me before. I'm just some random guy that fired up the channel. So it was cool.
Yeah, they're like hanging out on your behalf. They've come to watch you play the game, hang out with you, lend a helping hand to any of the gamers out there who might be listening. Because I know you and I have kind of had this conversation already where we're like, well, this is something we might as well do. Like, if we're going to play these video games, we might as well Twitch it. To the people who play video games that are listening, would you encourage all of them to, Twitch stream? This is something they might as well do if they're going to be playing all these games?
I mean, if they're comfortable with putting themselves out there, to the public. I mean, it's a fun thing to do, and I figured, why not? Especially if it's a big hobby of yours, if it's a big part of your life, why not just give it a shot? Even if it doesn't, necessarily take off or go anywhere, at least you tried.
You try it. I mean, look, you don't gotta be. Look, you don't have to be ninja. You don't have to make $10,000 an hour.
Exactly.
You could have your own little following, and you can make beer money doing it. There's something to be made.
Exactly. I mean, you never know unless you try. So
that too, and I mean, even if the people who don't want to put themselves out there, there's some Twitch streamers who don't have a webcam on them. There's some Twitch streamers who don't put their voice out there. They just play the game, and people just want to watch the game itself. They don't need somebody to host the channel and talk into the camera. Some people actually prefer to follow the channels that just strictly show you the game.
Right. And a lot of people that do like the webcam is because when you are playing certain games, to see the reaction.
Yeah, if you're a reactionary person, people will love you on Twitch.
And that's why one of my friends, Lambert, he would constantly tell me, you need to stream, because the way I react to certain things, cause I get the shit scared out of me easily when I'm playing some games, like survival games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just suddenly hearing, like, a 50 caliber bullets, like, crack right over your shoulder, and like, ah! So.
Well, there's an entertainment value to it now, and it's amazing, because, I would have never guessed when I was younger that so many people would love just watching video games.
Yeah, I mean,
it's astounding to me that it's even such a large as large a number as it is.
Like, even my brother is like, why do people enjoy watching other people play games? So I'm like, well, it's for the reactions, just if they want to see whether or not they'll like the game, or maybe they just like watching the person.
They like being entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people like the show. Actually, Steve, do you think you could look up how many people watched Twitch streams last year? Like, or how many video game streams?
I remember hearing it was a lot.
Yeah, no, I want to kind of get the number on that.
Somebody compared it to sitting on the couch watching your older brother play while you had to watch.
That's a good point.
That's a good analogy.
That's a really good analogy.
I just don't see how it's any different from TV, where you're watching other people do something that you're not there to participate in.
Yeah, it's like a secondhand experience. Yeah, it's still a secondhand experience.
I don't really see the difference when people argue that you're watching someone else play a game. Okay.
No, but I really feel that analogy that it's like watching your older brother play.
Yeah.
Because Legend of Zelda series is one of my favorites of all time. My first exposure to that was watching my older brother play when I was a kid, and the game was too complex for me.
And that's pretty much how I got into playing games, because because I'm the youngest of my four brothers, or my three older brothers, and first started watching them playing like Super Nintendo and stuff like that, and then
the old goodies.
And because I had three older brothers, a lot of the games we'd play were wrestling games. So.
Oh, dude, something that wrestling games did, like, long before it became customary, was the ability to customize your own character.
Yeah.
And have that character experience its own campaign.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Dude, it hooked me as a kid. Those wrestling games. I remember SmackDown. I had SmackDown on the PS1.
SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on PS2 was, like, one of the best games ever. You could literally fight on top of Madison Square Garden, knock them off, and they bounce like a fucking rubber ball. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah, well, we all love ridiculous shit.
It's true.
So what other games have you been playing lately? Are there any games you're looking forward to?
The new Resident Evil 2 coming out in January.
The remake, right?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine on here, Phil, who's super psyched for those games.
Yeah.
Well, but you've always been a huge Resident Evil fan. I
Yeah,
know that.
and growing up, I was always scared of it. I watched my brothers play it,
Yeah,
but like
same, dude.
if something got too scary, I'd run away. But kind of get you eventually grow the nerve for it. So
Jesus.
and then I've
Well, it's thrilling, dude. Like, it
Yeah.
really... I mean, look, this is one of the things that, like... It's like, don't get me wrong, I love watching a good movie, I like watching a good TV series, but the thing that entices me about video games is how, like... That. That. Like... like, how you're in the center of the experience.
Right.
You know, whereas the TV is like a secondhand journey, it's like, with the video game, it's like you are...
you're controlling the experience.
Exactly.
You have the choice. I mean,
it
inevitably,
pulls so much out of you.
yeah, like inevitably, there is a unless the game allows different choices, there is like a straight path you're gonna follow. But at least you're the one controlling it. You're the one allowing it to happen. So I think that's cool.
Well, without sounding like a video game elitist, it's like if you compared somebody's face who's like watching TV, or like if you look at the normal person watching TV, it's kind of just like a stone face. They're not really reacting. They're just like, oh.
Right.
But if you look at someone who's playing video games, they're probably biting their lip. They're probably going,
Exactly.
you know, especially you.
Oh yeah.
You grunt like a motherfucker, dude.
I
That's
can't.
what's gonna make you. That's what makes you fun to watch on Twitch, though.
Well, you have to take out your anger at something. For me, that's video games. So
Well, yeah, it's a safe place.
you have a long day at work. You can't yell at anyone while you're helping them. If you're getting frustrated,
Truth.
take it out on something that's not going to matter on. So
Well, there you go. So it's
I'm-
therapeutic. So you're
yeah.
saying all those kids playing... I want to have you on record for this, Dan. All those kids playing Grand Theft Auto, shooting up, like, buildings and hospitals. They're just taking their anger out, right? Like, that's not, like,
well,
that's just them taking their anger out, like, homework's annoying,
I mean, that is a different kind of anger, I guess. But there is nothing that's proven video games lead to
No.
violence.
Bro, cards on the table.
yeah.
One of my favorite things to do in Grand Theft Auto is drive on the sidewalk. And I have no urge to do that when I'm driving, rest assured. But that was like my favorite thing to do. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it is.
There's sidewalks for cars
And
now.
then seeing how many stars you could get before you inevitably die.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Holding
like-
up. You're like King Kong on the top of a building, except instead of being like a 600-pound gorilla, you're like a fucking, more than 600, like a 600-ton gorilla. But instead of being a 600-ton gorilla, you're just a dude with a rocket launcher.
Exactly.
And a dude with a rocket launcher could do a lot of damage.
That's true.
Let me
It's
tell
like
you.
when we were back in 90 Broad, when we would see who could go out in the biggest bang before you had to hand a controller over to someone else.
That was so much fun. Shout out to,
awesome.
I think it was J-Wop, who had the,
That was his idea?
I think it was his game.
Oh, that was his
J-Wop's
game. Yeah,
That was good shit, man. Oh, man.
good times.
Total
Good times.
Twitch views from December 22nd, 2017 to December 21st, 2018.
We're getting the numbers on the Twitch
Hours
streams.
of watch time is about 9.25 billion.
Holy
Maxed out in about September.
That's hours?
Hours total. Cumulative.
So, if you didn't hear that, the amount of hours watched on Twitch last year, 9.25 billion.
That's insane, dude.
That's more than the human population. That's like, who would have guessed there was a market that big
I wonder
for
if it
people
went.
watching video games?
It's probably been up since Amazon bought
So
Twitch.
Amazon bought it? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Since they got all these
Absolutely.
promos going, with Prime, with Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime, and with Twitch
Dude, you
Prime,
get a lot of benefits with Twitch Prime.
You get in-game loot and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. So it's pretty
It's
cool.
awesome. No, it's really well run. It's really well organized too. But that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Honestly, probably cable will eventually go out of business. I mean, even Twitch streams Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other common
So-
misconception is Twitch is not just for video games. Like, there are podcasts on Twitch. Like you said, Thursday Night Football was on
Right.
Twitch. Like,
And they got Bob Ross 24/7.
they have a Bob Ross 24/7. Well, I know Andy Milonakis like has a Twitch where
Does
he
he
just
really?
like he just sits on the streets of LA like talking to people. It's just really random. People love watching it. It's just crazy. It's like content used to be like in such an organized box. It's like it was like a movie or TV show, and you had the storyline,
Right.
And but now it's like Andy Milonakis just jerking off in the middle of LA, and people are like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. That's entertaining.
That's great, man.
That's great. Let's watch that. It's real, bro. Like, it's real. Speaking of professional wrestling, do you watch any professional wrestling?
No, really.
Bleh.
No.
Can't speak. Professional
I
wrestling.
used to when I was younger, but I don't know. I mean,
did it ever bother
I
you that it
follow
was
like
quote
their.
unquote fake? Because that's a lot of people's like issue with.
I mean,
professional
obviously
wrestling.
you don't realize that when you're younger, but as you get older, yeah,
It's
kind
like
of
Santa Claus.
yeah. I mean, then you come to understand it's entertainment, so you take it for what it is. But
Fair enough.
like I still follow like some wrestlers' Instagrams and stuff like that, just to kind of out of curiosity see
Who
what's
was
going
your
on.
favorite back in the day? I can tell you
Stone
who my
Cold.
favorite was. Stone Cold?
Stone Cold.
Dude, Triple H was my favorite back in the day.
He was definitely up there.
Yeah, he was one of the fun
Yeah,
ones.
just as a kid seeing Stone Cold give someone a stunner, then smash 2 beers together and chug them. You know, kind of the inspiration for the first night we went out the sophomore year.
Oh, when Dirty Dan is back. Dirty Dan. What a nickname. We should have had you wear the hat, or I should have
know.
worn the hat for this podcast.
That would have been nice.
That would have been cool.
But
We
maybe
still
ne-
have
maybe another
a
time.
legendary Dirty Dan hat from back in the college days.
I was actually really happy to see that when I came in this morning.
Yeah. Well, dude. I mean, look. We'll. If you want, you can walk out of here without it. It's all yours.
No, I'd rather leave it here.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
figure something out.
It's a legacy.
So I got a good question for you, Dan. And this question was inspired by a former guest, Phil, Patchman Phil. What is your Mount Rushmore of video game characters?
It's a
And you
tough
could
choice.
choose. You could choose to answer that objectively or subjectively, whatever you think might be more fun.
I would say definitely Marcus Phoenix up there, one of them.
Okay, so we're doing a subjective Mount Rushmore. I take it. Go for it.
Um,
This is the Danny Ambrose Mount Rushmore of gaming.
and I would say Luigi.
Marcus Phoenix, Luigi.
Um,
like it.
Who else? What other games were awesome? That's a tough choice. I haven't played like single player games in a while. But how about another influential game, from Dead Rising, Frank West.
Frank West.
He was the
Wow.
the smart ass journalist.
I like. So we got Marcus Phoenix, Luigi, and Frank
Frank
West.
West. Who else? Let me think.
Who else?
So we got Luigi, Marcus, Frank West. It's a tough call, man. Captain Price from Call of Duty.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if you ever played Modern Warfare 3, but that ending when the guy that's just been causing so much pain and torture.
No, I never finished. I never really finished. I think I finished the campaign of one Call of Duty game.
The Modern Warfare trilogy was pretty awesome. Just this whole guy knowing you find out basically in I think late in the second one or maybe in the beginning of the third one that he's been pulling the strings the whole time.
Oh shit!
And just like
traitor.
seeing, Captain Price like choke him and like hang him from the ceiling of a big like fancy like palace and like a skyscraper, and like he just lights a cigar at the end after he kills him. It's pretty fucking badass. And
That's
then
sick.
I don't know who the last one would be though.
I think there's only 4.
Oh, it's
I think there's only
okay.
4 faces of Mount Rushmore.
Okay, but yeah, those are pretty iconic characters that come to mind.
No, that's a cool one. That's definitely a cool one.
Not to I know it's Call of Duty, but I mean he is a pretty fucking sick character. So
No, listen, dude, those games were right up your alley. And Call of Duty 3 was when Call of Duty was at. I don't want to say it was at its peak because I haven't played Call of Duty lately, but I know during like the Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare like era, they were pumping out some dope games.
yeah, it's just when they started getting a little too futuristic was when it was kind of like they were trying too hard.
When did they start doing that? Like, what part in the series?
That was after I think it started in 2013. I think with Call of Duty Ghosts. The ending of that game just infuriated me. It made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever.
That bad, huh?
Just like
Anything you could sum up in like 20 seconds?
yeah, just basically at the end, the villain, you're underwater. It's you and your brother, and you're choking him underwater. Shoot him in the chest, like a train hits him underwater, and then like you wash ashore, and like you and your brother like you see each other that you're still alive, and then all of a sudden he comes from behind, punches you in the face, and drags you away from your brother. He just survived all that. He survived being shot in the lungs, getting hit by a train,
Being underwater.
being choked underwater till he was unconscious.
Like I didn't hear him gasping for air when he came to the surface.
It's just it was the most infuriating ending of any story, any game, anything. I was so angry that day.
It sounds
I
pretty
don't know if you
dumb.
remember, but when I was in my room, I don't know if you guys were home or not. When I finished it when I was in 90 Broad, I just went, "What the fuck?"
You know, I think I feel like I remember you yelling that randomly on 20 different occasions. So
That was
I'm sure
one of those
them-
20 occasions.
I was gonna say
One of those
I think
20
it's one of
occasions.
those 20 occasions. Oh, that's great.
It's
Well,
infuriating. Like,
well,
it just
Dan.
made no sense.
Dan, you're a very well-rounded gamer, in my opinion. You cross-platform.
Yes.
You cross-genre.
Yes.
What pulled you back into Nintendo consoles now that you own a Switch? What is it that they did
Smash.
right? What would you say it is? And maybe the answer is Smash. What would you say it is they did right this time that they didn't do correctly? Maybe with the Wii U.
Well, I'd say that their online focus has been a little bit better this time, although they still have their issues.
I still
but
think it's a bit of a disappointment.
it is a bit.
They
yeah.
have to work on
the
their
fact
online.
the fact that their voice chat comes through an external
Through a phone app. Yeah.
is stupid. You might as well just use Discord at that point.
Yep, exactly.
But, no, I mean the portability is cool, and what blows my mind is how like those tiny cartridges fit so much information on them.
And that's what my favorite part of that is barely any load times in any of these games.
Yeah, they're pretty quick.
They're very quick. Very, very quick. Which, I don't know, did you play or see any footage of Starlink at all?
Starlink, is that the?
That was the Ubisoft space shooter that featured Star Fox.
No, I haven't seen any.
It was amazing. I don't know what it's like to play it on the PS4 or the Xbox, but I had it on the Switch. 0 load times pretty much throughout the whole game.
That's pretty sick.
The game loads itself up, and after that, it's just like nothing.
Is it any continuation from the previous games, or is it a completely new story?
Well, the story, it's like a spin-off Star Fox story. You could probably plug it in anywhere in the timeline. The
Okay.
primary story is the characters from Starlink that Ubisoft created.
Oh,
And yeah, it's not really a Star Fox game. You could play as Fox through the whole story,
but
but it's not a Star Fox game.
Is it still like animals or like
No, it works.
Oh, it works?
It works.
Okay.
The Starlink universe can definitely work with Fox McCloud, but the main Starlink characters are all human, except for one character who's like an AI robot.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but it's definitely a cool play. So, what games on the Switch are you looking forward to? Now that you just got Smash, I know it's easy to have tunnel vision with Smash right now, but
Yeah, it's kind of
anything
up in
else
the air.
on the periphery?
Right now, it's just I got Mario Kart and Smash. That's gonna keep me okay with it for a while. But I'd say maybe like any new platform Mario game that comes out.
Well, you know Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out, right?
Yeah, that I'm definitely gonna pick up. And then the new Animal Crossing I'd look forward to.
You're gonna go in on the Animal Crossing?
Yeah, it's
I
been
think
a
I'm
while.
going to also.
It'd be a
I know
nice game to
Charlotte
kind of relax
for sure
with.
is. But what's
Yeah,
up?
it'd be a nice game to like, relax with, kind of like because I played that game a
those
lot when
games
I was a kid.
Well, did you play Stardew Valley at all?
Yeah, I like
Dude,
that
how
game.
relaxing was that game?
very relaxing.
That was cathartic.
I still occasionally fire it up.
Yeah,
So-
once in a while, because it's easy to jump back into.
Yeah.
Well, I love it's like something you were saying before, how like with your anger, you like to come home from a long day of work, you just take it out on the video games
Exactly.
and it's safe. I felt with Stardew Valley, like it would ease your anger.
Mm-hmm.
It would kind of make it go away because you're taking care of your farm, you're taking care of the crops, you're
And
helping out all the village folk with whatever's going on in their personal lives.
And they actually put a lot of thought into the game too, with the whole dialogue, with all the characters.
Well, you know, it was all one guy, right?
Yeah.
The same guy developed it. The same guy came up with all the characters' storylines. The
Yeah.
same, like he did everything. Chucklefish. I don't know if Chucklefish is the guy who made it or if that's who distributes. Or
That
publishes
was
it.
the publisher.
That's the
and they actually
publisher.
split ways recently. It was the guy's name is his handle is Concerned Ape.
Concerned Ape. Yes.
I'm not sure what his actual name is, but
But I think he's working on a new game.
he was,
right now.
but he's kind of put it aside for now. He's
No kidding?
working. Yeah, since he split ways with Chucklefish, he's putting more focus on giving more content to Stardew Valley.
Oh,
So,
that's sick. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he is eventually going to continue with the other game, but he's
Well-
putting more focus on because Stardew is so successful right
It's
now.
so successful, and there's a small niche of people who can't get tired of the game. They
Yeah.
keep playing it.
I mean, first it started off as an indie game on Steam, then it went to Xbox and PS4, and now Nintendo Switch.
Which
and
it was so much fun for me to
for all we
play,
know,
dude.
it's going to come to iPhones and Samsung.
It should. It's a great game. People
Or
love
Android.
farming games. You know?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's crazy because the game's obviously inspired by Harvest Moon.
Oh, of course.
But I felt like, at least since Harvest Moon 64, maybe A Wonderful Life since then, those games have just been on the decline. I just feel like they're lazy. And Stardew Valley did the whole engine so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. The characters were much more
Completely
in-depth.
fleshed out.
Yeah, the gameplay was smoother. The days were a better length. There was more things to do. You actually got to build your community.
Right.
And I felt like the amount of options that were presented to you in Stardew Valley far outnumbered the options presented to you in Harvest Moon.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the fact that there's combat too.
Yeah, there is
Like,
a little bit of
it's
combat.
it is relatively basic, but it's there.
It's
it's
there
an
and
option.
it keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
It keeps it fresh when you're diving through the mines. You got to
Yeah.
destroy these like giant bacteria bugs trying to fuck with your day or something. It's a little wacky, but it's fun. It's basic, but it's a good time.
It's good in its own right.
Yeah, man. No, I love games like that. Like games can feel so different depending on how they are. Like you ever play Journey or Flower? You ever play those games?
Never heard of them.
Very meditative experience. They're like $10. It's on PS4 and Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. It's not like Stardew Valley, but the feeling is similar. Where they're games that are the gameplay is pretty basic, and it soothes you down, like it calms you down. It feels good and relaxing to play them. I would highly recommend those games, Journey and Flower.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but what other games relax you, as opposed to the ones that make you, scream until you're red in the face?
I'd say right now, like as far as relaxing goes, I'd say Stardew Valley and probably just single player games like
okay.
Skyrim
Like
or
Skyrim, okay.
Anything like that.
All right. So on the other end, what game currently gets you the most red in the face, and what game do you think all time Danny Ambrose has gotten you red in the face?
Gears,
Gears all time?
of course.
Which one?
Just any of them.
Any of them?
Any of them.
Equally?
It causes the most blood-boiling rage of any game I've ever played.
Well, what is it? Are you mad at the campaign? Are you mad at the other players? Are you mad at your teammates? What gets your blood boiling?
The people you face online.
Why? Because they do
getting
smoke grenades and chainsaws?
Smoke grenades, chainsaws, getting teabagged when you get killed, getting death threats online if you destroyed someone.
There are some children out there, yes.
Yes, and
Don't let the children get to you, Dan.
and just glitches in the game, like people eating point blank shots and not dying.
Have you ever smashed a controller?
No, I don't
No.
go that far.
You don't go that far? What's the furthest you'll go in your anger?
Punch something, but something that would not break,
Like a pillow?
like a pillow. Yeah.
What about your brothers? You punch any of them?
No.
They
I would
punch
never do
any of
that.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
Yeah,
growing
it's
up,
being
so,
a younger brother.
Yeah. The
It
punching
toughens
bag.
you up.
But no, I mean, I would get pretty angry sometimes. But I wouldn't lose myself into destroying something valuable. I would look for the nearest invaluable thing and just beat the shit out of it. So
Did you ever beat the shit out of something that was invaluable to you, but turned out to be valuable to somebody else?
thankfully, no.
Thankfully, no. Okay, good for you then.
The one time though, when I was living with Steve and I raged so hard at Gears, I didn't do it on purpose. It's when I went to go stand up, I accidentally flipped the Xbox over.
Oh, damn.
And it completely scratched up my Gears disc.
Oh, I've had that happen before.
And I think it was when I got the brand new Xbox too, before the other one
God.
bricked.
That hurts.
Like I just kind of stood up really fast in a fit of fury, and it pulled the wire and it flipped off the desk.
Well, let me ask you something. You got an Xbox One, right?
Yeah, well,
You
it's
chose to
just
stick with
kind of like a
Xbox.
coffee mug at this, or like a stand for a coffee mug at this point. I
No
hardly turn it
kidding.
on.
You've adopted the PS4 as
No,
your
not
primary?
even, not even that. Just all PC.
All PC.
Because pretty much
Okay.
every game you can play on PC now. So like Xbox games are compatible with like the new Halo coming out. It's
Yeah.
coming out for PC too, and you could play with Xbox
Oh,
players.
so you might as well play on
Kind of
PC.
like with Gears. Like I have Gears 4 on the PC. You play with Xbox players.
That's wild.
So there's the only reason why I still held on to the Xbox was the NHL games, but I haven't really played it that much anymore recently because it's been the same last just like any
They keep
sports
releasing
game.
the same game
Just,
over
it's
and
just
over.
a roster update.
That's sports games for you, man.
yeah.
It
just-
sucks.
At least with Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, there's a new story, there's new content and stuff like that. But with NHL, it's almost always just a roster update. Oh, we made skating like a lot more fluid, intuitive, and I hardly even notice it. So
Jesus.
it's just a waste. So
What's wild, man? That's wild. Do you think you're pretty much, for the most part, done with consoles? Or do you think you're going to go strictly PC soon? Or do you think you'll still always have a place for consoles in your gaming catalog?
yeah, I mean, I'll always occasionally fire one up. Like, well, that's why I got the Switch now. I took the Xbox, put it aside, and my Switch sits where my
Well, you
Xbox
see, that's
is
the
now.
thing about Nintendo. This is where I think they're smart, is the PC market doesn't threaten them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause they don't have any like licenses
ga-
shared with each other or anything like that. It's all
Exactly.
completely independent from each other. So
And they've completely conquered the handheld market.
mm-hmm.
It's a monopoly.
no one, if you ask someone if they have a PS Vita, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Dude, and Sony, I
that?
heard their PlayStation 1 Classic completely flopped.
Yeah, the library that they had for it was terrible.
Was it really?
Yeah.
All right.
it's just-
Do you know the library well enough that if I spit off a few classics, you could tell me whether or not they were in there? Was the Spyro series in there?
I don't believe it was.
Bandicoot?
Nope.
Okay.
They had Tomb Raider.
Any
Is that
Final
one of
any
them?
Final Fantasies?
I believe Final Fantasy VII is on there.
I would hope so. What are the PlayStation 1 classics are there? Jesus Christ. Any of the Tony Hawks?
I don't believe so.
Don't, Jesus.
No.
That sucks. I'm dying for the 64 Classic Mini. When they announced
Yeah,
that, like,
if-
you know the Fry
that-
meme, like, shut up and take my money?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
That would be sick to have. Just imagine a tiny little N64 on your desk. That'd be
Oh,
sick.
my God, that'd be amazing. And, if it doesn't play 64 titles, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Yeah.
You know what's a great game that used to relax me back in the day? Speaking of that, Pokemon Snap. I used to
We played that a
fucking
couple
love Pokemon Snap, dude.
When we're coming back from class, either you or Nicolette would be playing it.
True. Brian would play
Brian.
that more than I
Yeah.
did. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's a throwback.
So, getting away from the video games a little bit, I want to talk about Danny Ambrose, the man.
Sure.
So what is it you're doing for work these days?
Technical support right now.
Tech support. Very cool.
Like remote tech support to be specific, but hopefully, eventually, with some, applying myself in proper studying, I could get to either systems administration or network administration. It's just gonna take
That's the
some
big
time.
bucks right there, buddy.
Yeah.
You can do
Eventually, it's just
You'll
gonna
get
take some
there.
time.
Well, you've always been a pretty smart guy with
you.
IT. I know when you initially enrolled in college, you were journalism.
I was and I kind of got thrown into that too. I just back then they asked me like, cause when they go to the orientation, they ask you, what are you looking to do? And I was like, oh, I enjoy writing, and I can't remember exactly what they said, but they said, oh, they might have said that's kind of a dying field. You're better off in PR, and I was like, what? And they're like, all right, you're gonna be PR, and I was like, okay. And then I
Jesus.
went halfway through, my sophomore year. I was like, I hate this. So, and that's when I went and switched to IT.
Well, what was the real pull towards IT? When you made the
Just,
switch, what's up?
The fact that the whole life been around technology, using computers, working with computers, playing on computers, consoles.
It's funny.
All that.
Because in retrospect, I should have done what you did.
I mean, you're already making
That's where I ended up. I
great
ended
progress.
up in programming. Yeah.
You're already making great progress on that. So
Yeah, thank you.
it goes to show you it's never too late to do anything you want to do. So
Definitely not. Especially the tech industry. There's so many resources on the internet that want to teach you, that want to help you. Like whatever it
there's
is
a lot
you
of
want to do.
free resources out there that you could use. So.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Or like even if you have $20 a month, something like Team Treehouse. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, Team Treehouse. It's like $20-$30 a month, and there's endless classes on there for like learn Photoshop, learn how to code websites, learn how to code apps, learn how to make VR videos.
That's sick.
Stuff like that. It's like just endless classes.
That's awesome.
Team Treehouse. If anybody wants to look them up, I swear I'm not sponsored.
Hey, and if you were, one day they should thank you.
Well, they should. They fucking should. I am a product of their product. You
It's
could
true.
you could make the argument that
It's
I'm a
true.
product of their product. That's how all
It's
this
very
shit
true.
gets done. Resources like that. That's how I learned all this crap. But since graduating college,
Mm-hmm.
what have you felt was what would you have told your college self about transitioning into the real world that you would tell them today?
You're not prepared.
Why not?
It just harsh reality hits you, especially after you're living with your friends all day, every day, and just hanging
Yeah,
around.
we all did share a house.
Playing
Yeah.
games, just watching TV all day, occasionally going to class, No, I'm just- but no, and then just having to, jump right into real world, the frenzy of finding a job, trying to, pay for your student loans, because, I had to defer mine for a while, but eventually, in a stable.
You cleaned your room.
Yeah,
You got it together.
Cleaned my room, got it together, and working where I'm working now for 3 years, so I need to make the move up. It's just gonna take some time. So
Well, that's the thing, man. Is it time plus experience equals opportunity.
that's true.
And you put in 3 years. It's only a matter of time before they bump you up.
Yeah.
And you've always been good at what you did.
Thank you.
I remember when you got pranked with the broken Xbox prank on April Fool's Day.
That was not funny.
That was fucking
was not
hilarious.
funny.
That was fucking hilarious.
It
But
ended
you
up.
were-
That's probably the reason why it ended up breaking.
You think?
And then
so?
I had to fucking pay for it.
Do you really think that's the?
Yes.
What evidence?
I had no
do you
issues
have?
with
What
it.
evidence?
I had no fucking issues with it at all.
Told a
For
story
the
where you dropped it not 7 minutes ago.
No,
That's
but that
also
was the
true.
new one. That was
That
after I got
is-
that was after I got the new one. And that's why I freaked out because I just dropped the new fucking Xbox. I just dropped $300 on. But no, that was the new one. The old
Well, let me
one,
tell Dan,
it
if I
broke
may.
2 weeks later.
If I may.
It broke 2 weeks later.
If I may,
Go ahead.
anyone who owned an Xbox ended up replacing it.
Well, yeah, I know they
it's
had
not
the
like-
Red Ring of Death issue, but come on. What are the fucking odds that it breaks
How
2
much
weeks
longer?
after that?
Was it 2 weeks after that?
It was 2 weeks after
Oh,
that.
That is wild. That is wild.
You can't expect that you like taking everything out, unscrewing every fucking thing out of it, putting it in an old dusty case, and then taking it back out and putting it back in the other case again. It's not going to fuck with something.
Well, I mean, you're the IT guy, right?
It's going to fuck with something. And
Well-
it did fuck with something.
I just think you're a little salty because it was a funny April Fool's joke.
Listen, drop $300 when you're a poor college kid. Tell me how you feel
Oh,
about it.
dude, I know, man. I know. I've dropped $300 on things stupider. Believe
Haven't
me.
we all?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been to Vegas.
I have not been to Vegas
I didn't come
yet.
back in the green. Let's put it that way.
I need to get to Vegas before I turn 30.
We were talking about that, Daryl and I, actually, the other night. We were like, yo, so you see how you said before 30?
Yeah.
We're like, yo, everybody, when everyone's 29, we should do it.
Oh my god.
Send off the 20s with a bang.
That'd be sick. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not a bad
good
idea.
idea.
It's not a
We
bad
should
idea.
do that.
Just start saving money now.
Hey, I got a good amount of saved up. We'll be good.
Dude, Joe and I made the big. We don't tell many. Like, we keep most stories to ourselves from when we went to Vegas with. It was me, him, and my boy Martin Abrams.
Yeah.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I could tell
course.
one family-friendly story, I suppose. So we, the first thing we did, we got dinner, we got some drinks, and we're like, let's hit the casino right away. So we went out, we went to the casino, and Joe was like, let's play roulette.
Oh,
And I was
God,
like, why
I
are we
already
playing
know where this
roulette?
is
And he was
going.
like, guys, I have a system that will defeat roulette. And we're like, fuck you.
And he lost all of his money in 5 minutes.
We'll get there. We'll get there. And we were like, fuck you, Joe. So we went to the roulette table. Martin and I played our own game, our own hands, and Joe did his system. Before we knew it, Joe was up $150.
All right. I already probably know where this is going, but
Just
go
like
on.
that. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to mimic Joe. So I mimicked Joe. Next thing I knew, I was up about $200. Joe was up about $350, $400. So our boy Martin's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to mimic Joe. We all start mimicking Joe. And before we know it, Joe's up about $900. I'm up about $700, and Martin's up like $400 or $500. We have now lit cigars. We're drinking whiskey. It's like, this is the grand victory. Vegas.
That's awesome.
Vegas is ours. And bro, I kid you not, the pit bulls were around watching. Like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Why do
No
these
way.
kids keep winning? And we weren't breaking any rules. We were just doing
Wait,
Joe's fucking system.
Did you say pit bulls?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Aren't they pit bosses?
I thought it was pit bulls.
I think it's pit boss.
Are you sure?
I think
It
so.
could be a pit boss.
I don't know. We might have to check that.
Might
I
as
thought
well
it was
check
one of
that.
the
Check
pit
that
bulls.
Pit bull or pit boss? I've been calling them
This
pit bulls.
pit bull's just coming in.
Can you imagine they were actual like pit bulls, like barking at us?
They sick them on you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that'd be rough. But I love pit bulls; they're very sweet dogs.
Yeah, I don't want to give any negative connotation about them. They're pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely not. They're just very protective of their owners.
Yeah.
But then before we knew it, like we're drunk, we got that nice little like cigar high, we're chilling. But before we knew it, it was all gone, Dad.
Of course.
It was all gone. The casino ate it all. We were in denial. It's like we
That-
lost the first 100. We're like,
Gotta know
it's
when
just
to
a
quit.
slump. It's just a slump.
Gotta know
then
when
we
to
lost
quit.
200-300. Oh, it's just a slump. Then 4 or 5. It just kept vanishing. Had we just walked, we could have. We only had a weekend in Vegas, mind you. But had we walked up 600-700, what we could have done with that money?
We had a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But we did have a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Gotta know when to quit.
But you got to use the buddy system in Vegas. No lone wolves.
Yeah.
You let a guy go stray in Vegas, crazy shit's gonna happen.
I mean, you've seen The Hangover, right?
Of course, I've seen the fucking
Just making
Hangover.
sure.
That movie is a good example of a movie that, like, the first time you watch it, it makes you pee yourself. But now that all the surprises have been spoiled, it's really not that funny anymore. I love the movie. Don't get me
Still,
wrong.
it's still got some great moments in
Yeah,
it.
no, you could still enjoy it, but it's mostly out of either nostalgia or just like satisfying a comfort of watching something familiar.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of like when I was sick freshman year and watched Happy Gilmore like 27 times in a row.
Dude, you were in love with those old Adam Sandler movies. I think it's actually I think you're just appropriating the angry Adam Sandler in your Twitch streams. When you scream red in the face of your video games, I think you're just appropriating old school Sandler.
Some
Which
of
is
the
a
funniest
compliment.
shit.
It's a compliment, mind you.
It's some of
Please.
the funniest shit that I ever watched. I don't know.
Dude,
A lot of
Happy
people disagree.
Gilmore and Billy Madison are fucking classics. Honestly, if you hate on Adam Sandler, go fuck yourself. Like,
like-
he never wanted to make you. He never like those Happy Madison movies. That he's not trying to win an Oscar.
Yeah, it's just trying to make people laugh.
He's trying to make you laugh at silly
So
shit.
it was always the high-strung critics that gave it terrible reviews, but he's always had the cult following, so that that's all you need,
Exactly.
and now he's successful.
No, honestly, one of the things I love about Adam Sandler is like he made it big, and he just hooked up all his boys with a paycheck.
Exactly. Yeah,
Every
he
time he made a
has the
movie,
same people
The
in
same
every
people.
movie.
It's his friends.
The
He's
Rob
like, we're making the
Schneider,
movies.
David Spade.
John Turturro
Um,
has been in a bunch of those movies.
Who's the guy that plays Crazy Eyes in Mr. Deeds?
Oh, Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Yeah, he's in all the movies
classic.
too.
Well, he's great because he's played like phenomenal serious roles. Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
But then he just goes on the Sandler set to be a goof.
Exactly.
And like if you hear people talk about, like I've heard some people talk about, like some of the comedians who are on The Longest Yard with him talk about him. They said like he was the best guy to ever make a movie with.
Steve Buscemi or Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Oh,
They're like
yeah.
he was
I mean,
incredibly. His
He
set
seems
was so
like
accommodating.
a very friendly guy. My brother, my oldest brother, Joey, met him once in the city,
No kidding.
like a long time ago. But yeah,
How do you meet him? What was going on?
just I think it was like the early days of when my brother was on patrol. And
Oh shit! You just saw him.
You
in the
just
city
saw him.
and shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My dad and my brother, with two of my brother's friends, went to a Jet game, and they were in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were out in like where like people who had boxes where they get drinks or something,
Right.
and they spotted Adam Sandler, and like he was obviously trying to keep a low profile.
Yeah.
Like he was
Hat
keeping his
down
head
and
down,
everything.
hat down stuff.
Yeah.
And one of my brother's friends ran up to him and was like, "Hey, are you Adam Sandler?" And then after the kid pointed him out, he kind of took the disguise off. He's like, "Yeah, let me take some pictures, let me sign." So it's like I always thought it was pretty cool of him that he's trying to keep the low profile.
But he
like,
won't.
if
He
a
won't
kid-
turn people away.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. He won't turn
Yeah.
people away. The kid says, "Hey, you're Adam Sandler." He's like, "I'm gonna hook this kid up. Let me make this
Yeah.
kid's day." You know?
Because the fans are what keep famous people like that going. You got to give back.
Well, you got to be thankful because you know
Yeah.
people spend the time and the money to go out and see your movie to fund
Right.
your project, your
Exactly.
company. You know, and like another reason I love Adam Sandler too is because you think about all those movies he makes, and you think about all the people that are making money and being fed from working from him, from every camera guy
Yep.
to people who mix audio. I mean, dude, it's astounding. Like after movies, when you see those credits roll, the amount of people
That
who
are
had
in
to
his
work on
movies.
that fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's fucking cool.
I mean,
So
look
make
at the
more
intro.
movies.
Look at the intro to Happy Gilmore. It's like 5-10 minutes long.
Well, that's what's great because he really does his best to get as many people involved as possible. Well, Dan, I have a question for you, and it's a question I'm trying to remember to ask every single guest. I want to keep track of this. Are you Chip Gang?
Chip Gang.
Okay, so this needs to be explained to you.
Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. Excuse me. This will be good for anyone who's listening for the first time or so. But Chip Gang is, I don't know if you heard, but Elon Musk, along with several other Silicon Valley tech giants, are working on a chip that you could put into your brain that will pretty much connect you to the internet and expand the bandwidth that your mind can hold.
Jesus Christ.
So here's my question, Dan. Elon Musk actually says he'll be releasing something in the next 3 to 6 months. Let me ask you something, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
If putting the chip in your brain does give you a competitive advantage in the market, will you eventually turn to Chip Gang, or will you resist? Do you want to remain a meat-bodied monkey forever?
I'd say a meat-bodied monkey.
You're on team
That's-
You're not on Team Chip. You're
That
team
that
no
is a
chip.
dangerous game we're playing at.
It's a slippery slope. I'd
You
agree with
never
you,
know.
but I'm interested if you want to unwrap that a little bit. Why do you
Just
feel it's a slippery
With
slope?
how advanced technology is getting, and with how advanced it is right now, you never know. It could be some sci-fi shit, but if it could like remotely hack it or
Yep.
fuck with it. Or,
That's really what scares
you
me,
know.
is because like if you're gonna be browsing the internet from your brain, right? You have to be browsing from a certain IP address.
right,
And if somebody can hack into your IP address, they're hacked into the Neuralink that's in your brain.
right,
That's one of the major flaws. But
And
what if
I think
what
someone
if they
could
told
send
you you
a-
were safe?
yeah,
What if they told you you were safe?
that's bullshit.
You think it's bullshit? You
bullshit.
think no one's safe?
What if someone granted, it's not. I wouldn't say. It would probably just like happen in very rare cases, but
I also
you
don't
never
want.
know.
I also don't want. You know how like our data is obviously collected. Like everything we Google is like collected.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like are our thoughts going to be data that's collected now?
I wouldn't put it past it.
That's my problem. Is like we have to remind ourselves like all these fucks just want our information. That's what they
Targeted
want.
advertising.
Exactly.
I mean, look
because
at
they could sell our information to those advertisers.
You go to Amazon, you look up chairs or some shit, and then you go to Reddit, and if you
it fucking follows you there.
and then it has it on the side on Reddit.
It's fucking
It's like,
ridiculous.
oh hey, look at this chair. It's like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Is like these fucks all want our information. It's like, yo, there's got to be some way to like withhold your information. It's like, I'll sell it to fucking advertisers.
It's
Like I don't
it's
know.
too
Maybe
late
that's
for
too
that.
much to ask. I don't know.
It's too late for that.
It is too. Yeah. The
We're pretty much
Pandora's
fucked
box
it.
is open.
We're pretty much fucked at this point in regards to that.
So what would you say to people who think that chip in the brain is like the next step in human evolution? That like if you could store, what about if you could upload your consciousness into a cyborg? Would you do that? This way you could live forever technically, or live as long as you
I
like.
mean, yeah. That's a different
not
story.
gonna
If you're about to die, if you're, let's say if it's an emergency.
So you'll do the chip on your deathbed if it'll save you. Everyone has a price.
Well, everyone's scared of death.
You're no kidding.
Yeah. So
That's
why
why.
not?
That's why we're trying to put chips on our fucking brain, Dan. What do you think motivates that?
Well, I don't know if a chip in your brain would, keep all your body parts functioning. Would it?
Well, it would help. Depends on the chip, I guess.
I don't know.
Like if we find a way to
It's a slippery
computerize the body, I'm sure we're not that far from that.
Just there's always someone out there that's going to do something evil. You never know.
Malevolence does exist.
Yes.
100%.
So I mean, look at the world we live in now.
I think
Look at the world for how many years past. There's always going to be a villain. As cliche as that sounds, there's always a villain.
it's crazy because if you trust the Bureau of Statistics, there's like less crime and less people dying from war today than pretty much any time in human history, or since recorded history, since the Bureau's been collecting those numbers, which might only include the 20th century. But there's still a lot of shit going on.
Of course.
Like you said, even in societies that are able to, I guess, push the tide upward, malevolence is still going to be there.
Of course.
Like there's still going to be that people
just-
who be there to threaten the well-being of others.
It's just a part of it. It may sound fucked up, but it's part of human nature.
Well,
sometimes.
it's the way of things,
Yeah.
man. It's like we're very complex creatures, and like both benevolence and malevolence can contend. People out of insecurity or out of ego or out of pride will act shitty towards other people.
Whether intentional or unintentional, it's always going to happen.
I mean, dude, that's the thing. Is a lot of people are just pulled by their subconscious. I mean, everyone is to a degree, but there's some people where it's just completely behind the wheel.
Right.
Just
they're in autopilot at that point.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you ever go autopilot at your job?
Sometimes.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
That's fair.
When you're in the routine, it just
It's not a bad thing.
Just
Honestly, when
autopilot
you're in the
mode.
routine of working and you're just flowing with it, that
Yep.
feels good. Like, that feels good.
just tune everything else out, get your shit done.
Oh, yeah. It's
Although-
when I'm in between
the only-
tasks, I have to really buckle down.
The only thing frustrating with my job, with the current stuff I do, is you're working on something and then another call comes in. Then you got to handle that
God
issue,
damn it,
and you
yeah.
forget the issue you're working on, or you have to backtrack, and then the shit just starts piling up and gets difficult sometimes. But what can you do?
Exactly. What can you do? So, let me ask you something, Dan. You've been an avid gamer since I've known you.
Mhm.
Has a career in video games ever seemed appeasing to you? Does that ever seem like something you would do?
You mean like creating video games?
Career in video games. That can range from anything from video game journalism. All right, we're rolling. Do you need the claps?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank-
If it was
Very
possible, if I was like as amazing as some of these streamers or players you see, I would try out like an esports team or something like that. But
Ooh, that'd
the
be
only
cool.
game I'm actually really really good at is Gears, and it's not as popular nowadays as it is because
But not many people know that Gears was a huge esport.
yeah,
Back
it's
in, like, the
Gears is very
mid-2000s.
niche though because it is a difficult game compared to other shooters. It's just there's a lot of stuff you have to get used to that people get very frustrated with, and that's why not as many people play it as say Call of Duty. Call of Duty is very accessible,
True.
and the formula has been around much longer than Gears. So but well, not much longer. But
Do you think games like Call of Duty have convinced some people to join the military? Do you think that's real?
oh yeah,
Yeah?
without a doubt.
Do you think those people are typically disappointed with the actual warfare compared to, or do you think they have a general idea of what they're getting themselves into? Or do you think it's naivety?
I'd say it's definitely a mix of both because
Oh yeah, definitely.
they are excited, because they're, it's a new experience and everything. But I think a lot of people can't handle the mental breakdown by, like a drill sergeant or whatever, and it's very tough.
Let me ask you this, Dan. Do you think video games need to be censored in any way?
No, unless it's something like really really fucked up, like something depicting something in real life and directly attacking someone. Then no, like no censoring of like gore or violence or.
What about of sexual themes?
That's like a different kind of thing. That's not really. I don't really consider that a game at that point. That's just,
No. I mean, like like characters in fighting games that have big tits.
Oh well.
Do you think it's creating unfair expectations?
No, unless you're stupid. if people are getting their ideas of how women are supposed to look off of a video
By
game,
pixelated models,
they're fucking
like
idiots.
they got bigger problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. It's fantasy.
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe for some people that have never been a part of society, like but
The hermits.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm with you, man. I've been thinking of doing something like when all these presidential debates start. I think I'm just gonna like go to these giant rallies. I'm gonna go around asking people about gamers' rights. Do you believe in gamers' rights?
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you know about Gamergate? Do you know about Gamergate?
Gamergate.
Like just mess with them.
Get the fuck out of here, man. We don't care.
We'll see. No, I would love to catch somebody who like screams like gamers need to like chill the fuck out. Like they can't be running people over on sidewalks. That's who I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to find. You're right. Most people will probably just be like, dude, no, I have no idea what you're
It's
talking
encouraging people to do it in real life.
about. Exactly. That's who I'm looking
it's
for.
not.
I'm
Have
looking
you
for that
ever heard
person.
of a case of someone purposely driving on a sidewalk? But I saw it in Grand Theft Auto. I wanted to try it in real life. No.
No, I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
That's why I get really pissed off when people argue like, "Oh, video games cause violent tendencies." It's like, no, they don't.
You know what's funny is like people said the same thing about like heavy metal music, but like studies have shown that like listening to heavy music actually calms you down.
People down. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Because it's expressing. You're expressing it. You're getting it out of your system.
exactly.
You know.
It definitely encourages
A lot of people
creativity.
don't. They
too.
don't understand that. A lot of
No.
people don't understand that.
Everyone's got these preconceived notions, so.
What are you gonna do?
You can't change people's minds sometimes. They're stuck in their ways. So.
How do you handle people online who like? I know you're a competitive gamer. Like a lot of the games you play, it's in a competitive atmosphere.
Right.
How do you deal with the people who will hit you up, slide into your DMs, and trash talk?
Oh, I give it right back.
You give it right back. You don't
I don't
ignore
hold
them.
back. Fuck that.
Jesus.
If you're gonna attack me, I'm gonna attack you back.
I mean, that's fair enough. That's fair
And sometimes
enough.
you get some quality content out of that. So
Would you upload the trash talk to Twitch? Is that something you would do?
as long as it's within terms of service, yeah, probably.
It's so funny. Have you checked the terms of service? Have you read the terms
Well,
of service?
Not like I haven't really read through the full thing, but I know like what you should or shouldn't say.
Well, yeah, don't say
So-
racist shit. Don't
Yeah.
say like hateful shit.
Exactly.
Although people don't even follow those fucking rules.
Mm-hmm. They're a
Jesus Christ. So, the New Year's coming around.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be cliche, but what's one thing you want to do better this year that you didn't do so well? What's one thing you want to do better next year that you didn't do so well this year?
That's a good question. I'd say just further my career along. It kind of slowed down this year. Like start picking it up within the last few months. Like as far as moving forward, but definitely gonna put a lot more focus into that in the coming year. Hopefully, further along in, like I said earlier, systems administration or network administration. But it's just gonna take some time and practice. So.
Well, what's some of the things? How does one excel to those positions? Are there certain skills you need to acquire or practice, or?
Just need to be mentally sharp, know how to study, how to apply yourself, and just like anything, practice makes perfect. So Just got to know what you're doing and know how to do it well.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Agree 110%. So how the ladies treating you, Dirty Dan? Which, I think that's the first time I referred to you as that on this whole podcast, but
Yep.
his old nickname in college was Dirty Dan.
I haven't really bothered too much recently. Just been focusing on work and
Getting yourself together.
went on a few dates during the summer, but that was about it.
That's about it?
Yeah, just haven't really bothered since the summer. Just kind of focusing on work. So
Good for you, working on yourself.
I'd rather just do what I need to do first, and then I'll worry about that later. But I'll still go out and have fun, But
Yeah, no.
as far as
You're
relations,
a smooth dude on the dance floor.
yes. After I've had a few,
That's the same for all of us, huh?
liquid courage.
Liquid courage, as we call it, which is great. What are your plans? I know you said you're going to be acquiring a webcam for your Twitch streaming soon. Do you foresee yourself as somebody who's going to eventually move up to the green screen, or do you think if you're doing a webcam thing, you're always going to have your room in the background?
If I get really comfortable with it, maybe eventually like a green screen. If I knew, I'm sure I could learn how to do that. But
It's not too difficult. You can figure it out.
I'd say like if it ever does take off, and you want to put on a little bit of a show before you go live with whatever game you're playing, like kind of like what the other streamers do, like Dr. Disrespect and Addiction and like all that. They have like that little starting soon thing that comes up, and they play like a highlight reel of all the stuff, like of some of their best moments, and they have some music playing in the background, that kind of shit. But I would say I'm not really too worried about that. I'd just good with the webcam for a while, and then I'll see where it goes from there.
Okay. To round us out, what do you think is the most compelling thing about the Twitch platform?
Basically, how accessible it is. Now, it's a lot more accessible than it used to be. Like, they got, since we're all starting up our, streaming lately, it's just, they have like that, like how they have like the whole new interface. They got achievements that you can track and see how well they got analytics and all that good stuff to keep an eye on how you're doing, your progress, and it's like encouraging in a way to see the achievements you're getting, how close you are to the next achievement. It's definitely a good feature they implemented to kind of motivate you to keep on going.
I was going to say, as a content creator, I found the Twitch interface to be the best one. It's so much better than YouTube Studio.
Yeah.
It's not even close. Do you foresee a world where Twitch one day is who knows? Is it as big? What gets more hours of views, Netflix or Twitch? I'm curious to see that.
That is a good question. I was gonna say Netflix, but I was
So I was gonna ask,
Twitch is blown up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you think Twitch can one day be as big as Netflix. But we're actually going to see what the actual size comparison between the two is.
Because honestly,
1 billion hours of content per week.
in Netflix.
On Netflix?
On Netflix.
That is insane. Oh my god.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Me neither. But here we go. So, can you see Twitch one day being as big as Netflix?
They're on an uptrend right now, so
Definitely.
you never know. It's definitely possible. Like we reviewed, it was said 9 billion.
9 billion, 9.25 billion.
That was over what period of time? Last 2 years. A year.
So you look at Netflix, which is at 52 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
52 billion a year, rather, and Twitch is at 9.25. So do you think
they're going up? It's possible. Now that a lot of people are getting upset with Netflix, they dropped Daredevil. Well, it's still on there.
They're going to lose all the Disney
Daredevil
stuff.
got canceled,
lose
and
all the
Punisher's
Disney
going to
stuff.
probably get canceled, and and they're dropping. They dropped Always Sunny for whatever reason.
Because Disney bought Fox, and Fox has the distribution rights to Sunny. Like Disney is purging Netflix of all the content they own.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's insane. That's why I wanted the Always Sunny world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I think they at that point when they just started taking out a lot of shows like that, they chased a lot of people over to Hulu.
I love Hulu.
So
I'm on Hulu much more than I am Netflix. I go to Netflix mostly for comedy specials.
You have to share your account with me if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we can link up.
Appreciate it.
But I think we're over 60. Yeah. All right, so let's wrap this baby up.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Ambroze. You can find him at twitch.tv/Danny Ambroze. Subscribe, please. This guy's got an amazing channel. I know you're all going to love it. And where can they find you on Instagram?
Same name.
Same name, Danny Ambroze?
Yep.
No underscores, no periods?
Nope.
Okay.
One word.
So look out for it. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Danny Ambroze, thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
Appreciate having you.
Thank you, man.
Later, brother.
Later.